What's up, guys? Sorry, I've got this light shining on my face so you can see a little easier. Otherwise, yeah. It's 2:20 in the morning. If I end up covering this up, it's because there's another vehicle coming type thing. But, in fact, let me adjust it a little bit. There we go. That way it's not directly in my eyeballs. No. Oh, damn. I ended up... We took my pup in, moshed it, be cremated, and we'll get her in about 7 to 10 days. And then bring her back home. I'm headed towards my house, which I'm almost there, because I gotta finish 3 repairs in the bathroom for the buyers. I decided to bring 2 of my dogs. Mr. Bear generally always goes with me when I come down here. I decided to bring Misha along too, just so that she could go. I ended up, and I'm hoping my folks will follow through, mainly my dad, because he's the main one there, and actually follows through, because right now I'm not sure which of the 2 dogs did what. So I told him to have my dog Chunk get put in my room when he goes to work, and make sure he has water and, a toy and stuff to play with. Because right now I don't know which dog did it, and Chunk being the larger dog, and the other dogs are more than capable of defending themselves from the second dog that may very well likely took part in that shit. It's one of the 2 dogs. And because I don't know which one, I can't just go be putting 2 more dogs down. So we have to try and keep them separated and be cautious about this even more. Especially while I'm gone and I can't keep an eye on things very easily from 300 miles away. Yesterday after taking Masha to be cremated and all that, got home or got back to the folks' place, and it was Saturday that we took her to be cremated. It's like Monday morning now. But yesterday, my dad went and picked up my mom from the place that she's at. And she proceeded to act like it was her dog that was mauled to death no, it wasn't. I love my mom, but she's gone crazy, all that stuff, and I don't have any more patience anymore. I had that conversation with my dad big time. I just don't have it in me anymore. I love my mom, but I can't. My patience has gone so thin. I've gone through so much shit. There was so much shit that I shouldn't be the one to be there to care for him and my mom, because my patience has gone so thin that we don't need a bad situation to get worse between my mom and I. It's been bad enough over the years. And because I am aware of her health situation, I have to walk away in all that. I need to break away. It's been very fucking toxic. The idea that she proceeded to, after making this bullshit deal out where my dogs were concerned, she proceeded to go into the kitchen, grabbed some bug poison, and started spraying it all over the floor for my dogs to get to. And her dogs. And I got on her case about that. I was like, don't be doing that. You're spraying poison on the fucking floor, and you're worried about your dogs, but you're going to be poisoning your dogs right along with mine. My mom has already poisoned other animals before, and I don't trust that woman. And what worries me is about time my dad brings her home finally, is she going to slip some shit in his food about time she gets something in her fucked up head that he's doing something and it's not happening? Because she does this a lot as is. She did this shit before she had her strokes. She would start coming up with some weird shit in her fucking head, start accusing my dad of shit or myself of shit all the time, and then go tell everybody what kind of horrible people we are. And it's like, no, I'm not willing to risk my life or my animals' lives around a woman that realistically, because of what the strokes did to her brain, she may remember a lot of shit. She may be just as mean as she was before, just a little quieter. I'm afraid out of her impulses that she's having since her strokes, I'm worried that either she's going to end up killing my dogs or she's going to end up killing my dad. But my dad's making the decisions where my mom's concerned. That's him. That's his wife. And some might think that's an unnecessary fear, but when that woman doesn't have it, like literally right in front of me, just starts grabbing the bug spray and starts spraying it on the floor in front of the dogs. And all over shit in the kitchen. Like, she was like about to poison my dad, myself, and my aunt and our animals. It's like, no. The idea, I kind of had to look at my dad and was thinking to myself, like, are we gonna get stuck having to put a door going into the kitchen to lock to keep her from going in there? Because now there's the worry, is she gonna fucking put some weird shit in the food? Or is she gonna start spraying shit that she shouldn't be again and end up accidentally spraying it again into the food or into the dog food, that type of shit, and killing everything? No, it's not safe. It's not safe there. It's very, very fucking toxic still. My dad and I get along for the most part pretty well. It's just the guy literally, for most part, doesn't really have any manners, just general manners. He'll rip ass right in fucking front of anybody, anywhere, anytime. It's like he's shitting his pants right in front of people, and it's like, dude, you're not in my mom's shoes where she's having to wear adult Pampers and will announce to people that she's shitting herself in the middle of a restaurant and continue to just sit there and eat. Like, at times, there's no real try of just get up and go to the bathroom. It's just, I'm just going to sit here and do it. She did this shit before she had her stroke. She'd be wearing those things and use the excuse, I got a weak bladder. No, you just got lazier, is what you did. I understand weak bladders, but when you're wide ass awake and you just prefer to just piss yourself. Not like I said, this is before my mom had her strokes. My mom was already doing some weird shit. And it's like, it didn't matter what I would say to let my dad know, all this stuff. Nobody would listen. I dealt with the worst shit in the world with my mom. Again, I don't hate my mom. I just don't like any of the shit that she did over the years growing up. And the fact that, to some degree, the strokes she had kind of magnified some of it. And it's like, this isn't good. And because I've got way too much on my plate and everything, especially right now, between my home, selling my home, still dealing with the fucking relationship shit, still healing from that, my dog, having to worry about my other dogs, everything going on. I don't have the energy in me anymore to keep caring for somebody that's becoming beyond my ability to care for, let alone help. My dad's doing his best, but I watched my dad start losing his patience with my mom too at one point. And it's like, I kind of looked at that and was like, no. Because if you don't have somebody here, I'm waiting for you to lose your temper too, Dad. And with your drinking that you started doing again, I'm worried you're going to lose your temper the wrong fucking way. And instead of walking away or just stepping outside to take a breather or going into your room to take a breather, I've got a bad feeling that eventually you're just going to turn around and smack my mom. Not much I can do about it. It's just, I get worried about some of this stuff, and it may be unnecessary, and it's a trait I'm recognizing I've more than likely picked up from my mom, but it's not one of those things that it's so excessive that you think there's a venomous snake in every fucking hole you walk by. Every crack and crevice, that type of shit. I'm trying to just keep myself focused. Yes, when I think about my dog right now, it does start to break me down a bit. I love my dog. I love all my animals. I talk to them like people. Granted, one of my turkeys, and my new turkey, Peeper, I'm about ready to shoot that fucker. Third time yesterday, that little shit thought he was going to get it in his head that he's going to try and rear up on me and buck up on me, as it, and it's like, nope, you better back off. I ended up having to because I couldn't, with a turkey, when they're in the mode that they're going to attack you, you can't turn your back because they will run up on you, and that's when they'll start taking their claws and they'll dig them into you. They'll buck on you and they'll start pecking you. If they get you in the right spot, they'll get you on the ground, and then you got them in your face. Because that's where they'll go for, is your face. They'll get you down and then go for your face. It's just like a rooster. And I ended up having to have my dad fucking bring the shovel down pretty much to push the bird away as he's chasing me up the hill. It's like, it might be funny, but those birds, man, you got a 30-pound bird and you've got some fairly large little claws on those fuckers. It doesn't feel good. Roosters don't feel good when you get nailed by them. And they do leave scars. I watched that with my ex. She kept getting attacked by the rooster, and she's got a couple good scars from them, and I ended up having to put them down. It's like bird, dog, anything like that, it gets aggressive and starts getting more and more aggressive. I can only allow, even in some cases, a bad situation to let be to a degree before I have to take that step of going, okay, no, this isn't being deterred, it's time to put them down. And it's for the safety of other animals and other people. that turkey will find himself very quickly in the freezer and ready for Thanksgiving. I mean, he's getting to be about the right size. He's already bigger than my white turkey. My white turkey, Turkey Boy, I love that bird. He's been an awesome bird. Had him as a pet for 11 years, 10, 11 years now. And then Turkey Girl, she's just always sweet as can be, but I don't know if we're going to have her much longer. I'm realizing female turkeys don't last very long, especially if they can't breed. Because I noticed that female turkeys do have a desire to have babies. And when they can't have them, they get really depressed, and it's almost like they start to go crazy and die of depression. It's sad to watch when you see that. This is only the second female turkey we've had, but I have, since owning them, I've been learning in that sense that I don't think the females really do live as long as the males in a pet-like sense because of that aspect. And the broad-chested turkeys and stuff like that, the ones that you buy in the pet stores versus wild turkeys, a lot of them, it's really hard for them to breed because the way they were bred basically too big to get it in, if that makes sense, it being kind of clean. Car coming. But, no, I'm just, it's an Uber driver or whatever, Lyft. But I'm just trying to keep getting shit done even when everything's just feeling hopeless right now. I mean, granted, I know there's a buyer on my home, and we're just going through this little loop over a little issue that they're having, and after showing laws and stuff to the realtor, I don't think it's going to be much of a hassle at that point. I just need to get the bathroom finished, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I think I'm battling more stress and anxiety than I am even depression right now. I am dealing with plenty of depression. Just, I don't know. Doesn't seem. Another vehicle. Just feels more like a lot of stress. And then having that constant being cautious about different situations and people now. I've withdrawn from a lot of people. I still talk to and hang out with my buddy Nate, of course. I mean, that's my brother from another mother. Trying to get myself back to a positive mindset. It feels like I was doing pretty damn good for a while there, and then the moment I allowed myself to talk to my narc, it's like everything went backwards. It's like I reset everything, and at least now that I know the truth on a lot of shit, another vehicle, it's made me keep some kind of emotional distance from that person and even others, because I don't want to be hurt again like that. It broke me. And you know, you get people out there talk about toughness and all that stuff, but you know, it's everything and everyone has a breaking point. As I've said in one post before, whether it's the toughest metals or the toughest stones, all that, too much hot and cold can weaken it and make them brittle. It's like when you go to temper metal, if you don't do it right, it'll pop. It'll pop in the whether you're cooling it in canola oil, automotive oil, water, whatever you're quenching that hot metal with. If you do it too rapidly with certain metals, with most, go from extremely hot to suddenly super cold. You're more than likely going to break that fucking piece of metal. It's going to pop in that quench. And that's how I kind of compare, people. Every situation we end up in, it's tempering us. And yes, it'll either make us stronger or it'll make us weaker. And the thing with metal is, if you do things right, you can retemper metal and it can regain its strength again. Or you can end up breaking it, and then you're at that point, you have to, in essence, reforge it. And try to retemper it again. But everything has a breaking point. I mean, whether it's, even granite and diamonds, they got a pit in there, and water gets in there and it starts to freeze. It starts to split it over time. And people are just like that. And if you're constantly bombarding somebody with extreme, hot moments and then suddenly extreme cold moments, you break them. You can be whether the world's weakest man can end up becoming one of the strongest people in the world, and the world's strongest man can become one of the weakest people in the world. It just takes the right situation and moment to do that to someone. And when you're dealing with more bullshit than the average person, the likelihood of you breaking mentally as a person ends up becoming more likely. Like, it becomes almost absolute. I also feel like we live in a world right now where people forget that when they make their actions and choices and decisions, whether they intend to or not, if they don't put any forethought into anything, they have a chance of really fucking hurting people. And at the same time, those choices and those decisions and those damages may have very long-lasting effects. For an example, and it may seem kind of dumb to some people, but it's a fact. My ex had not cheated and pulled all this shit that she did, putting myself and my animals in the position of having to leave home because I can't stay there. Can't do another winter like this with my health, let alone alone. And not having even a proper vehicle anymore to deal with the winter times here. So I was forced to go stay in a place with my animals. Then inevitably, because of that, in due time, it got one of my dogs killed. All because somebody was thinking of themselves and their self-gratifications, and wanting to fulfill some sick fuckhead's high school fantasy. take me a long time to regain respect for some people. Trust probably won't ever return. I recognize ripple effects, and every choice you make has that effect. Good or bad, it will have an effect on other lives. And it's not very easy to make choices that only affect you, the individual. But anyways, I'm getting closer to where I need to be and closer to my place. And I don't really want to ramble on too much longer. I don't intend to constantly post negative shit. I've been trying. That's why I've been posting so much right now. Because I don't like posting negative shit all the time. Anyways, thank you for watching and listening. Try and have a good week and be safe out there. Later.